Hey everyone, this is Voltage. Some of you may know me as 75 Roy. That was a very long time ago. That was, wow, probably 4 years ago now? It's weird to think that. Anyway, so I'm here today with a video of this game, and it's a wonderful game. I'm a very big fan of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. And what I'm going to do today is this is more just of a sort of testing video to see what I can do and how much I really want to get into this. I haven't made videos in a very long time, and I figured that this would be the best way to get into things now that I actually got my capture card working again, and I have a recording software. So I'm very excited about this, and I just thought I'd give it a whirl. You know, maybe I'll get back into this, who knows, but for now, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, figured it's probably a good way to get started because it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. So as you can see, we've sort of erased the first file, and we are going to be starting a new game today. I've obviously 100% all the other files, so I don't really want to erase those. Anyway, with that, we're just going to get started. I am playing by myself, and it's going to be very fun. So, right out of the gate, we're chasing after Dark Meta Knight, who has split us into 4 Kirbys. The goal of the game is obviously to get 100% and stop Dark Meta Knight, because he has done some very mean things to Kirby. If I had shown you the opening cinematic, you would have known that basically Dark Meta Knight split us into 4, and that's pretty much it. Also, Meta Knight is in the mirror world, which we also are in. Otherwise, there's not too much to really focus on about the plot. The plot is about what you would expect from a Kirby game. It's really just very simple and very fun. I'm personally a very big fan of it. And, of course, I can't get wheeled, but that's okay. I'll just get burning when it comes up. So in true Kirby fashion, there are many different copy abilities that you can use to get through the game. One of these is the burning ability that I have right now. And what I just opened was a large treasure chest that shows me the map of the entire world. So that's what we unlocked just now. It's pretty basic. It doesn't really help us with much. And also the game is telling us if we use the L and R, we can call each other. L lets us go back to the main hub world, which is this, and R lets us send calls for other Kirbys. So as you can see, Dark Meta Knight has trapped regular Meta Knight in the mirror, the Grand Mirror. I don't remember what the official name of it is, but Meta Knight is trapped, and there's Shadow Kirby or Mirror Kirby. And our goal is to recover all the mirror shards so that we can go back and rescue Meta Knight. Pretty straightforward. So as you can see, you know, we don't really have too many other ways of getting along here. There aren't really any other mirrors aside from this first one, so we're just going to go right through. So as I was saying before, there are many different copy abilities. I'm going to pick up the Spark one here. And copy abilities are basically your main ways of attacking an enemy. Spark is obviously not that great. I'm not a huge fan of it. But, you know, it is good in certain situations. You can't move with Spark, but it's alright. So I'm going to get this copy ability called Beam, and Beam is actually pretty good attacking-wise. It's just, you can use it anywhere, and it has decent range. I don't remember how many there are, but I hope to show off every single copy ability at some point in the game. The other thing is, these treasure chests are littered throughout the world. In order to get 100%, you have to open every single treasure chest. So that's also something worth noting. And I'm going to take the bottom path on this one. Normally, it doesn't really matter because the top path sends you on the top part of this room. And that's that. So we got fighting here. And fighting has a lot of cool abilities. If I can show them off, that'd be really good. You can do a bunch of punches. If you combo B, you can sort of do combos. It's really cool. The other thing that you can do is you can press pause and press select, and it'll show you the different ways and attacks you can use when you have a copy ability. So that's really cool too. Anyway, so now we're just going to go along, and as you can see, we are in a room that has a treasure chest down below. But unfortunately, we will not be able to access it, and I don't really need Fighter either way. And right here we have a maximum tomato which restores all health, so that's pretty cool too. This is fire. I'm going to save that for later because there's a really good spot to have fire. And this is missile. Missile is a new ability in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. And it's one of my favorites actually because, you know, if I could use it, that would be really helpful. And we're just going to fall all the way down again because I am just the best at this game. So as missile, you have a lot of really controlled movement, if you couldn't tell. And you can sort of just move around. And oh, it's Shadow Kirby. And if we attack him, we have to move on. And then we're going to just use our missile, and we're going to fly onto the star. So as you can see, this game has been off to a very quick start, and obviously I'm sort of flying through the game. I'm very well experienced with this. It's one of my main games I grew up as a kid. And now we are in Moonlight Mansion, the first main area of the game that's not just sort of traveling. And right out here we have this golem that we're just going to get rid of. Those will normally give you stone, and if we open that chest, we now have the map to Moonlight Mansion. So as you can tell, it's going to be very helpful, especially in a Metroidvania game like this. Now, what we can do is we are going to fly around here, and if you have really good missile control... Oh, I got eaten by a snooter. That sucks. If you are really good at this game and have good control of your missile, you could eventually, you know, fly around and it'd be good. I'm not going to go this way, though, just because that's not the main way through the game. That said, there is this part here, which I can't remember. Yeah, you definitely need missile to get into here. But this brings us into a new part of the mansion, which is kind of cool. I wonder if I can cheese this. Yeah, I can. Cool. So we can enter this room here, and we can effectively go and take a different route than intended. So this is Laser. Laser, well, fires beams. I personally kind of like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. It is fairly weak, and I'm not going to manage to get through here, so I'm just going to ignore that. So, Laser is very fun, and okay, I'm down to 1 hit left, and I do not like leaps at all. So, I'm just going to play it very cautious. I just died. Well, that's our first death of the series. Can't imagine I won't have more. But, you know, it's just sort of whatever. So basically, this room here is it's an interesting proposal because it allows you to go to a different spot in the game fairly early on. I wouldn't say that it allows you to get all the way there because it's a two-way sort of passage, but, you know, you can still... Stupid fucking bird. Basically, you can just go open up this switch, and now... You guys need to get out of here. You can basically go all the way down to Olive Ocean, level 6 in the game, but we're not going to go there quite yet. The main thing is now that we have this open, we'll be able to... It's a bit of a fast travel. So now we're just going to go back to the main route, but unfortunately I can't get through there actually, so that's kind of awkward. I didn't think that through. Oh well, you know what? The game is about adventuring and exploring, so we're just going to see where this takes us. And maybe, who knows, we'll end up somewhere kind of cool. So right here, we're going... Oh, we have a burning. I suppose that could let us get back to the main area of the game, but I want to go this way, because I want to explore. And that's okay. And I just lost another life. That's alright, though. I'm not concerned because I'm definitely really good at this game. Or couldn't you tell? But that's alright. So those heave-ho blocks you basically have to suck in and hope to move them. You can't move them with a power-up unless you have Stone Kirby. So now, and speaking of Stone Kirby, it's right down there. So this is Sword. It's a pretty cool copy ability, I like to think. You end up looking a bit like Link, which is you know, a cool little cameo. Way to build yourself up, Nintendo and Al and whatnot. So I'm gonna get this little recovery. Probably good, given that I'm just not playing the greatest. Case in point. Come on. You know, I think the problem with me... Okay, you know what? We're just gonna get this sword, and we're gonna say screw it. So, they're giving us a lot of batteries, and one of the things that I want to show off, since, you know, there's a battery right here, by the way, is I'm going to call the other Kirbys, and they can actually bring in items that you can use to heal yourself, which is, you know, really cool. Unfortunately, the other Kirbys in this game aren't really that helpful unless you're playing in multiplayer, but, you know, we've got time. So here we have our first mini-boss of the game. Normally, your first mini-boss is not this guy. This is Batafire, and he gives the burning copy ability. And generally when they have mini-bosses, you want to get their copy abilities just because of certain things. And as you can see, we are at, if we... Oh, no, that's not the button. I'm playing on a GameCube controller, if you couldn't tell. We are at, basically, a goal game. So we are going to have to go through the whole first part again, which is, you know, not a problem. We can do that. But a goal game basically is a very fun, simple little thing where you're on a shooting star and you're able to get a bunch of bonuses, provided you avoid the blocks. They give out lots of 1-ups, or depending on the game. But as you can see, I got 4 1-ups, maybe even 5 if there's another. Nope, there isn't. Well, that's alright. We have a lot of 1-ups now. Yep, so now we're back in the main area, and we're going to go through this whole first part again. But that's okay, because there was a split path that we took before, and now I guys can show you the top. Which is, you know, not a bad thing. I'm glad that we got the early stuff out of the way, because it's always fun to take new routes through this game. I do play this game quite a bit. It's sort of my go-to if I need to, if I get bored for whatever reason. And I really enjoy it. I know it's not everyone's favorite game. Kirby is definitely a departure from the main from Kirby series, because normally Kirby series has like levels and you go through worlds, and this is a very open world Metroidvania kind of thing. So I'm going to grab fire, and fire is pretty much simple. You can tilt up and down on the arrow pads to move the flames that you're spewing, and it's pretty cool. I like fire, but I prefer missile. So now we're just going to fly upward. We're going to bump right into that Scarfy. And oh look, we're at the Shadow Kirby part again. And this time we have invincibility, which is really cool. So depending on how fast you hit Shadow Kirby, you actually get different items. So the first time I took a little bit and I got a 1-up. This time I hit him really quickly and I got invincibility. I'm not sure if there's like a timer thing or whatnot for each item that he gives. But it's good to know that. If you take forever, he just ends up giving you, like, a cherry or something. And just like last time, I got eaten by a snooter. Wonderful. So I'm going to get this, and I'm going to continue on. I will admit that it is a little tricky I'm playing with the joystick on the GameCube controller. I could play with the arrow pad, but I'm not really big on that, especially with this controller. And I don't really mind losing missile, because we are about to fight the one we're supposed to fight first, Mr. Flosty. And the reason they give you all these blocks down on the bottom is because if you suck them all in, you can beat him without ever having to use his ice cubes. And true to form, he gives you the ice copy ability, which I actually really like. I know it's basically the same as fire, but it's still really fun. So we're going to go in this mirror, and oh, wouldn't you know, we have a big old button. So if we press this button, it makes a link back to the main hub, and now we have an easy transportation between our first part of the game and Moonlight Mansion. I probably should have gone this way first, but it's alright, because we're just going to keep on going. Additionally, in these rooms, we have a bomb copy ability pedestal and a fighting copy ability pedestal. So if you ever need a copy ability and you don't feel like dealing with enemies, you can just touch one of these while you don't have a power, and you can get one of those. Unfortunately, I want ice, so I'm kind of going to have to go back and fight Mr. Flosty. It's weird, like, I don't know if that's a localization error or what, but his name is Mr. Flosty. Not sure why. So, we're just going to deal with his antics, and I killed the Waddle Dee. And he's right over the thing, but we can still kill him like that. And now we have ice again, which is really nice. And ice, in case you didn't know, freezes ice blocks that you can push at other enemies. That's why they put those baddies there. One thing about baddies is they're the most annoying enemies in the game. But we're just going to continue onward. Moonlight Mansion is a weird departure from, you know, early levels in games, I find. I actually really like it, because, you know, normally in Kirby games you sort of have a foresty level in the first part of the game, which you kind of do have in Rainbow Route, but, you know, then you sort of go to a beach, like in Nightmare in Dreamland you go to Ice Cream Island, or in Returns of Dreamland you have Radish Ruins, which... Or... Is it Radish Ruins? No, Radish Ruins is in this game. It's Raisin Ruins. Whoops. See, you know, I'm just sort of off my rocker. Anyway, so one other cool thing that you could have done is if you had kept Missile all the way through this part of the game, or Burning, or if you somehow got Hammer, you could break these blocks and go into the mirror up there. Unfortunately, we did not, so we are just going to continue on the expected way, and right off the gate we have another invincibility candy, so we're just going to go like crazy and we're just going to run, and it's going to be good. For those of you who are wondering how you run in this game, all you have to do is double tap in the direction that you want to run. So so you can easily go around, it's cool. So we got a Maxim Tomato. As you can see, there's sort of different entry points for everything. And now, as you can tell, we can't go back. One thing that you want to know with dealing with mirrors, if they have a small star on them, you will not be able to return through said mirror. So keep that in mind when you're exploring, because, you know, you could end up in a crazy spot and you might not know where to go. So I'm just going to ignore that golem. And we have another switch just sort of there. Oh, excuse me, wow. And that is going to open up a different mirror that we will be able to access once we return to the hub. However, the music is gone, which means that we have something interesting coming up. One other cool thing is the stained glass mirrors right here are actually super foreshadowing of things to come. You've got some bosses that you can see. Right here is one, here's another, and then there's the Wispy Woods looking guy, and then there's Krakow. So we're going to enter through the store, and wouldn't you know, we have King Golem here. Now, King Golem dies to ice. He's our Wispy Woods knockoff. I will say he's harder than Wispy, but if you have ice, if you continue through it with the game, it's not a hard fight at all. So, wouldn't you know, that was a very, very easy boss fight for us. I would say that, you know, not all bosses are that easy in this game, but Wispy is definitely the easiest. So now that we've completed that, we're back in the main hub, and notice we have this new mirror. Generally, you can tell new mirrors by the sparkly blue auras around them. And what I'm going to do is I like to go about in this game in a very interesting way. First things first, though, we have a map here, and this map opens up the map to Rainbow Root, which is pretty good. I'd say. It shows you a lot of things, and you're able, here if I can zoom out, as you can see, Rainbow Root's a pretty big area, and that's before even like Moonlight Mansion. We went through Moonlight Mansion and we still have a ton of stuff, and there are a bunch of areas, like Olive Ocean is Area 6. So there are lots of areas in this game, and I'm actually going to go in a counterclockwise, or excuse me, a clockwise way through the game. I've actually done a few different playthroughs where I've gone backwards boss order, which is definitely possible in this game. Oh, and hey Green, how's it going? Green has the rarest ability in the game. UFO. UFO is really cool, but I also like Wheel because Wheel lets you just go like crazy, and it's really fun, and we're just going to be Wheel. And it's going to be good, and I promise you that, you know, I've had plenty of time to experience this game. Also, if you remember, when I showed you the chest that we couldn't get quite yet, this is that chest. You need Wheel to go all the way through and then speed along this water current. So that's pretty cool. I really like that design choice. So now it's going to be a little harder to keep Wheel as we go down the caverns and whatnot, but this is technically the way to the... Thanks, Sparky. This is the next way to get through the game, if we are going in order of bosses and areas. So, you know, if we were to go to Area 3 next, which is Cabbage Cavern, which, as you'll see soon, is where we're going. If you recognize this music, by the way, it's technically the forest area music from Kirby's Adventure or Nightmare in Dreamland, whichever you prefer. It's a nice little jazzy remix, I think. And so, yep, we're just going to go through this door right here, and wouldn't you know, we are in a more cavernous place, and it's really, really neat. I like this a lot. I like this whole game a lot. If you look in the back, too, you can see really cool aesthetics. So what I'm going to do here is normally what I would just go down, because there actually is an interesting mirror that we want to get going back this way, but I think it would be best if we follow along here, because I'm not trying to speed run this game right now. I'm not trying to just get through it as fast as possible. I'm trying to go for as much as I can. Also, fish in this game are probably the most annoying enemies of all time. Actually, that's not true. Baddies are a thing. So here we are. We have this button to the cavernous part of Rainbow Root. We are still technically in Rainbow Root, but we are in a different space. So if we have a certain mirror, we can eventually go to Cabbage Cavern, or we can continue around making the loop of Rainbow Root. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go back this way through the way we came. Nope. And I'm just going to drive through. As Wheel, you have become Jesus, and you can technically walk on water. You know, it might be a bit blasphemous, but you know what, this is Kirby, so we don't really care. And what we're going to do is, instead of going down here, we're going to avoid this roly-poly. Well, I mean, we did avoid the roly-poly, but we got hit by the waddle-dee. And we're going to go through here, because now we actually are, if you look in the bottom right corner, in Cabbage Cavern. And Cabbage Cavern's super cool. God, I love this game. Cabbage Cavern basically is, it has a weird purple aesthetic. Not really sure why, but we're just going to roll with it. So here what we do, what I tend to do usually, is there, oh, and we are not getting our wheel ability back. That's alright. What you can do is, if you go along here, there is an item up here, which allows me to recover some health, and given that I'm running low, I might as well recover a bit. So we're just going to keep on going down and around, making sure not to fall in this gap. And we're going to go up just to get this battery that I didn't need at all. Now, I will say to not go into that door, and there's a reason why. The main reason is because this door actually leads to the next place in the game that I generally go when I'm playing this game. It's really kind of cool. I'm always a big fan of being able to go wherever in games you want. And so if you notice, we're technically still in Cabbage Cavern, but if you look towards the bottom right, you can sort of see we are now in Olive Ocean, which is, you know, as we had been before, Area 6. So, generally when I play through this game, Olive Ocean is the second area I play through. But for the sake of continuity and going in order of the game, I will come back here. Still, though, it is good to have that ability to go to Olive Ocean right out of the gate so that we don't have to do any backtracking later on. It's very optimal, and I like doing it. Obviously, I'm not like a professional speedrunner or anything, but I know how to get through this game pretty well, I'd say. And, you know, there's always plenty of ways to go about going about. Now, one thing I could have done is I could have skipped going through that part where we were Jesus and walking on water and getting the Rainbow Root cavernous area mirror. But I figured it would be good to just show off where that is. One thing you shouldn't do is don't go this way, but I'll show you what it is for the sake of doing it. This is Boxer, probably the most annoying mini-boss in the game. He is a dog, so I guess my girlfriend would really like that a lot, but he is very annoying to fight, because he will grab you if you are not there, and he'll do that, which is not fun. It's annoying, and it's just tedious to fight this guy, so I generally try to avoid him at all costs, because Boxer is, again, least favorite mini-boss in the entire game. And now, if we just continue along here, if we break all these bomb blocks, we are now in Cabbage Cavern, and, excuse me, if we go through this mirror up top, we are back in the area that we just got, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to continue along here. Unfortunately, Cabbage Cavern is weird in that getting to the mirror is not really the same as getting to the boss. And so you're going to have a weird time dealing with it, unless you know where you're going. So right out of the gate, I got this new ability. It's called Crash. It destroys everything on screen. All those Dan Foleys. Terrible, terrible survivor. So I'm just going to go back, get this beam ability, because we need beam. We need beam to get some some chests in this room. And you want to stay out of the Crash enemy's blast radius, just because it can be very bad if you don't. Okay. That's alright. This is fine. This is a-okay. So a lot of rooms in this game, what they'll do is they'll offer this sort of like maze area, whatever, and you have to sort of navigate it without messing up the room, and if you do, you have to reset the room, which sometimes happens. And when that does, you just sort of hope for the best that it's not a one-way room. So the reason we need Beam, as you can see, is right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and get Beam now that I've cleared up some of the bomb blocks in this. I love this game. Of course, I need to make sure that I can get Beam. And that he respawns. There we go. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to avoid enemies, because enemies actually respawn when they're off-screen, which makes things a little annoying sometimes if you have particularly annoying enemies like baddies and Bronto Berts and Roly-Polies. So as you can see, we opened up that treasure chest, but now we have to get there. But that's not terribly difficult, because we can just go right into here. And we get a spray paint, the chocolate spray paint. That's pretty cool. Spray paints, what they allow you to do is you can basically change what color Kirby is. It's pretty fun. Ooh, I want to get a copy ability for this. I'm going to get Cutter for this. So basically, if you restart the game and you go through into the collection room area, you can change your color and you can play through the game as that. So now we have another Batifier. This is probably the first time you're supposed to fight him, but you know what? It's okay. It's fine. So let's see. Okay, cool. I still got Cutter. So, as you can see, Batifier is going to be, Burning is going to be very helpful for this part of the game. And it's not just so that we can climb walls really stupidly quickly, it's so that we can get past these Gordos without having to worry. And it's a pretty easy room to navigate, I'd say. But then again, you can never be too cautious. There we go, cool. I was about to say, if I lose my copy ability there, that would be really stupid. So, we have this room here. And I'm just gonna go through... Yeah, okay, good. I wasn't blanking. I thought for a moment I was wrong. Nope, okay. Nope, okay. I need to learn my buttons. We want to get rock, or stone, excuse me. I'm so used to calling it that. And we want to drop down here. And this is very big because, again, we're sort of optimizing ourselves because now we have yet another button. And this, if you notice, I'm going kind of in a clockwise motion, as I said before. This leads to the 8th level in the game, Radish Ruins, which we are not going to deal with just yet. So we're going to go back through here, and we are going to go back up this giant roly-poly fun mess adventure land. And I am going to avoid the Gordo. Not going to avoid the Gordo. And I'm going to get this treasure chest. And this is a sound file, and basically what you can do is you can take those, and once you get the sound player, you can listen to the game's soundtrack in the collection room. It's pretty cool. So we're just going to follow this current, and wouldn't you know, we are in this water part of Cabbage Cavern again, and if I can get down, that would be very helpful. And so here we are, we're just sort of exploring. It's pretty cool. Normally I don't like to deviate too much from the game itself in my normal route, but as you can see, we are in a spot that is kind of cool, and it's cool because of where we do end up. And I'll show you this really quickly. Also, I'm going to use laser to get some health back. In addition, there's also, I believe, a treasure chest up here. If not, it's just a few 1-ups. But I'm going to get these anyway, because I like 1-ups. They're super fun, and they help me when I die. Get the one man. Anyway, so we're just sort of going along. Notice, by the way, that we are, in fact, back in... Oh, wait, sorry, I went the wrong way. I'm a bit stupid today. We are back in Rainbow Root, and as you can see, now we have come through the opposite side, so that's pretty cool. But I'm going to enter through the Radish Ruins entrance again, and I'm just going to go over this way now. which is going to be a fun time. Because now, it's kind of weird, because the Radish Ruins mirror in the hub world actually makes it easier for you to get to the boss of Cabbage Cavern. I don't know why exactly, but it's kind of neat, I will say. The one other thing that's really cool about this game is that all of the solutions to puzzles generally can be solved in the room that... Nope. Okay. I need to learn my buttons. But as I was saying, all the puzzles in rooms can generally be solved without any outside assistance from different copy abilities. And what I mean by that is, you see how there are these pegs here. Oh, I'm gonna die. You can technically get through this entire room and get all the treasures in it just by using the abilities in this room. And I think that's really neat. I'm a big proponent of that. And it's just really good game design in my opinion. So as you can see, we need to find a way to get to this block here. And what I think I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need sword. I can't reach it from here, so I'm gonna have to go up and around. Which is alright. This is okay. That's why we have these. And now what we do is our route is blocked off. I see. That's going to make things tricky. But what we can do is die and reset the room and not accomplish anything. Oh, wait, I lied. Green has stone, so I need green to get hit. Green, pal, if you could get hit, that would be really great. Sadomasochism. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Okay. Come on, dude. Let's go this way. And what we're gonna do... I should mention, too, if you reset a room and you have Kirby's in it, or if you die, the room doesn't actually get reset, which is kind of neat. So, Green, if you could use your... Green. I need you to... Yeah, there we go. No, Green. Okay, here we go. Get hit. No. Okay. Come over here. Get hit. Oh, or you could do that. So now we get another spray paint. That's pretty cool. I believe that's the sapphire color, and I like that one kind of bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get Mr. Giant Rocky over here. And we're just going to break down this post. And that's going to be really good, because that post lets us get to a new place. You get to this treasure chest, which you wouldn't get to if you took a different way, which is a one-up, which is really, really nice. So yellow's here too, which is really nice. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to go up this way. I don't want to go up that way. I just want to ground here, and we're going to go fight Bonkers, the mini-boss that gives you a hammer. And we're going to die in the process, so that's great. So... you know, this game, it's neat. I just hope that they don't kill Bonkers, because I would love to have Hammer for this next boss. Let's see what he's got. How's he doing? Okay. Yeah, stone is not ideal for fighting enemies, especially Bonkers. And all mini-bosses are pretty manageable. There's a very easy, followable pattern for everything. So we're just going to go down here, and... quiet noise means we are about to fight another boss. And this is the boss of Cabbage Cavern. It's a very straightforward fight with... here we are. Moly. This is Moly of the game. And every game, it's kind of neat. So one reason I like Hammer for this fight is because Hammer deals the most damage of like any copy ability out ever with a B, if you can hit it. It takes a while to charge, but if it hits, it's probably the best hit in the game. So as you can see, not as easy as King Golem, but it's still a very, very strong attack. So now, with that, we have 2 mirror shards out of the way. And we're going to do our little dance. Which is good. Good job, Kirby. So now, we have to get to World 4. And as you know, we found World 6 and World 8 over here. So obviously that means we're going to have to do a bit of backtracking. one thing that I'm going to go off right out of the gate is I'm going to go this way, because you wouldn't believe it. No, I want the hammer, thank you. Hammer is probably one of my favorite abilities in the game. You can actually go up this way, and you have a bit of a shortcut to the next part of the game, which is pretty neat, I'd say. Now, normally what I can do is I could probably... There's a much faster way to get to the next boss, which, you know, I could do if I wanted, but I don't think I'm going to do that quite yet. What I want to do is I want to get a means of transportation. And what I mean by that is I just want to be able to get from one place to another pretty quickly, and then what I'll end up doing is I'll sort of go from there. So rooms like these make me think that there's an ability missing from this game that was in Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. It's the high jump ability. Rooms like this make me think that high jump was definitely supposed to be in the game. So they give you this fire guy over here, and what you're supposed to do... is you're supposed to use fire, but if you use the up B on the hammer ability, you can actually get all the way you need to be by doing that. And this cannon launches us way the heck up here, which is pretty cool, but it does block us off from a treasure chest coming this direction, which is unfortunate. But that's not a problem because, you know, if you go to the right, you can in fact get to another mirror, which will effectively reset the room, which is, you know, it's very good. So, right here, we have another button, and wouldn't you know, I'm actually breaking from the norm. We're going to pop open this button here, and suddenly, now, we are back in Rainbow Root, which is pretty effective, I'd say. Now, what I want to do is I want to go this way, and I'm going to skip over getting Tornado, despite the fact that Tornado is pretty good for this room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to fly up these mountain areas, and I'm going to go into this mirror here. And what I do here... poor Chip. What you're intended to do is to grab the sword guy, and then what you do is you do the up B attack, and not deal with any drama crap, whatever. You're just going to go up B and go through, and voila, you have the map for Mustard Mountain. So as you can see, there are many different ways to get through Mustard Mountain, but there's actually a completely disjointed area, which is actually kind of neat. And I'm going to save that area for later, because that actually leads to the final area in the game, which is only accessible by Warp Star. So we're going to ignore that for now. If I can do an up B, that would be great. So we're just going to go back through this, and we're just going to slide down this mountain, and it's going to be dandy. And we're just going to make our way over here. It's a good time. Let's see, I got to figure out where I want to go from here. Because I do kind of know where I am, but I'm definitely deviating from my usual way to get through, if only to just get everything in order. Because, yeah, okay, cool. So what I'll do is, you want to have sword for this room. So you can do a little bit of sequence breaking and whatnot. And I'll take the bite the bullet. I don't care. So let's see. There are a few things you can do. You could also technically get this beam over here. But I'm not going to get it. So I am going to get the one up. And if you do enough moving around back here, there's actually a mirror that you can use. But I'm not going to use it. I'm going to get this beam guy. And I'm going to go along and back through the mirror. And it'll be dandy. So as you can see, beam is really helpful for this room because you can break this block. And it does sort of block you off here. But notice, we're back in Mustard Mountain if you look at where the bottom right corner. Don't go through that room. That gives you... It's basically... it's just a mini-boss. I'll go fight it because... why not? But you really don't get much out of this room aside from the missile ability. So I guess if you like missile, go for it. But I'm not big on this for now. And it's not exactly the easiest boss in the world. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but... I mean, all things considered, it's just fighting. So this is Bombar. He has a few different attacks, and if it wasn't particularly obvious already, he gives away the missile ability. These actually give you bomb copy ability, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna use that maybe a bit. I don't even care that I'm very close to dying. I personally find this room to be very pointless because, you know, there's nothing in here aside from the mini-boss. So we're just gonna go back. But now, see, we do have missiles, so we can kind of fly through this area a little quicker. So I guess if that's a priority for you, more power to you. Go fight that. It doesn't save much time. So we're just gonna... I guess missile is nice for this room, but considering I died, I'm not gonna have it. And we are just gonna go up and fly through this space, this tight little cavern. That's what she said. And roly-polies are probably, again, the most annoying enemies in the game. So, okay. I don't need to worry about that much because we are actually coming up on the Mustard Mountain area mirror. So I'm not going to worry too much about health. I'm going to sound like an idiot for not going for it, but what can I say? I'm not the greatest person in the world. So what we do... Okay, that's just poor movement. Shit. And we are now in the Mustard Mountain area, which is effectively the 4th area in the game. If you look at the corner, it's good. So now what we're going to do is, instead of going to our lethal lava land, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back around this way. And it's a little out of the way, but you'll understand once we do this. So right out of the gate, we are here in Rainbow Root again, and I want to do this route. And it'll make sense. You're also a sword, so I will just suck you in instead. So there's this cool thing over here you can do. You can go up to... What's over here? Oh, this is still Moonlight Mansion. Yeah, we can take a quick detour. What we'll do here is Moonlight Mansion has a few extra treasure chests down in this area, which are worth getting, I'd say, especially if you're going for 100%, which I guess we are, maybe. Blippers are by far the most annoying enemies in the game, if you didn't know. But they are useless on land, so that's pretty cool. So this treasure chest gives us another sound ability. It's really neat, really nice, quality stuff. And we're just going to fly up here, and it's fine and dandy, and I'm getting hit a lot. I should probably be a bit more conservative with how many times I'm getting hit, but nah, who cares? Not me. So there's also the cool mechanic where if the ledge is steep enough, if you down B, you can actually roll down the hill. That's pretty neat, I think. But we're just going to cut through here. And this is the room that I was talking, you probably saw in a demo. We want to have stone for this. And we don't have stone right now, so we're going to... I wonder if... I don't think that'll work. So we want to go through the bottom right. And unfortunately, I just took away that's a one-way only. So I'm not that smart. And I'm going to get hit. But I'm also going to get Cutter. This Cutter is very important and helpful, and I just died. Lovely. Alright, let's try this again. So we're going to get Cutter. We're going to avoid all these baddies. Oh my god. The most annoying enemies in the game, I swear to god. And I believe down here is death. Yep, cool. Okay. So we're just going to let that droppy fall to its death. And what they want you to have here is Cutter, so that you can... Right? They want Cutter. You want to have Cutter. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that you can hit stuff over here. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to break that slash whatever, and we're just going to cut through here. I believe that we are going towards, if I'm following this right... Yeah, we can technically go to a goal game, but we can also end up in a different... We can end up back in that one spot in Moonlight Mansion. Now, one thing I should make note of as well is you'll notice that some of the areas are flashing on this map, but then you have ones like this, or the room that we're in right now, that are not flashing. And that means that you have either found all the treasure chests in there or not. So if the light is flashing, it means you have all the treasure chests in the room. If it's just statically cream color, that means there's a treasure chest you can get. And if it's dark red, dark orange, then it means you haven't been to the room yet. So we're just going to continue along here and hopefully not get the goal game, because I don't want that. So yeah. Okay, so let's see here. So what we do, where are we? Oh, we are going to that way. Okay, so we'll have to go back to this room eventually if we want to get 100%, but that's not the end of the world. I don't mind that much. And this room will actually lead us... Can go chomp on my nuts. So this room has, yes, it also has a treasure chest, which is right here. And I believe that you can actually take this way back into that room that we were just in to get the treasure chest that I was thinking of. Baddies are terrible. Let's see here. Okay, so if we were to take this mirror right here, we would end up in that one spot early on in Moonlight Mansion, I believe. But we're going to go this way, because voila, we're back in this room, and we have found the treasure chest, which is what we were looking for. Treasure chest. Treasure chest. Yeah, treasure chest. Alright, and so much for recovering health. Anyway, now that we've sort of done this detour, we're going to have a small mini-boss fighting Boxy. Her name is Boxy, and it's a fun time to be had. So what we're going to do is we're just going to spam fire, and I'm actually going to get the magic ability. And magic is a fairly useless ability in this game. In future games, it's not terrible, but as you can see right now, oh, I got a random ability. Cool. Let's hope I get... I should have stopped it. Whatever. So as you can see, I've got Bomb, and we've got an end game. So that's really neat. Really neat. Sorry for this detour. I know we were just about to go to Mustard Mountain, but I wanted to get this out of the way too because it's sort of on the way and a little... I don't really know when else we would really go and get it. This is kind of a bust of a minigame. Oh well. Alright, so we're now going to go back into the way that I said we were going to go the first time, this time without any distractions. So what we do is we just fly up over here, avoid all these enemies, and everything's great. I'm not exactly 100% sure how I want to go about doing everything in this area, but I will say there's no treasure chest in here. Good. So what we can do is with burning, we can actually break these blocks, which is good. And we can also deal with Snooter. And can we deal with Droppy? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this copy ability, and I'm going to fire it at this Mira, because if I got close to it, it would actually burrow under the ground. So that's not very good. And I'm just so good at this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this Dan over here, and I'm going to go over here. Actually, no, I'm going to go the other way, because I need the health. I don't really need invincibility. And I haven't, that might seem a little strange at first, but I'm alluding to what's in the next room. So in this next room we have, if we were to go the way I was going to go, we would get invincibility, but I don't really need invincibility because I'm just that good at this game. And we're just going to fly right on up, out of that geyser of air, and we are just going to make our way, not into that door because that's a goal game. We're going to go in here, and wouldn't you know, we are now in Mustard Mountain. So what I can do is I can grab Mini. We are now Mini Kirby, and I don't want to get trapped in here because that would be bad. But since we are on this side, we can get a treasure chest right out of the gate, which is nice. So Obviously, this is sort of the central room to Mustard Mountain, and if we do go down in this room, we will eventually not be able to get back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go upward and go right to the boss. And that will be just fine. If we were to enter from the mirror, the hub world, which I had gotten earlier on, we would eventually end up back in this room, but we would be on the other side. We would have been dropped off right here. And that's why they give you mini, because then you go down and around so that you can try to get to that treasure chest. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get that, and then I'm just going to go back towards this mirror over here. And it's going to be fine, it's going to be wonderful, and we're going to do this. So if you took the other side, you just end up in that little square over there. And I'm going to get stone. It's not really good for this room, but who cares? This is the few times that I think having Cupid is a good call. Cupid Kirby allows you to have some really. Is there an item in here or a treasure chest? No, there isn't. Cupid Kirby allows you to have very precise flying movement, and it's not the greatest, but you know, given where we are, I want to show off all the copy abilities, and this is probably the one time I'm actually going to use Cupid. And even then, I'm only using it for, you know, like, hardly anything. Over here is just a 1-up. I don't really need 1-ups. I'm just that good. Yeah, so we're just going to go through this mirror over here. And we're going to get Wheel, because Wheel is a fantastic ability. And we're just going to zoom on past. Now, as you can see, there is a treasure chest down there. So you don't want to go through that mirror just yet. You want to reset. And you can press B to actually stop Wheel in action, and you're going to grab this Circibble over here to get Cutter, so that you can cut this thing right here, and you can get some health. It's not terribly useful, but again, you have to get all the treasure chests for 100%, so you might as well. So we're just going to go down and through, and it's nice. Now, what we could do is we could continue to wheel on through, but here's what I was talking about using stone. So as you can see, there's a treasure chest here, which is cool, but you also have this big block, if you remember. If you use stone and hit the ground multiple times, you'll notice the block tends to move. And if you do this enough times, instead of trying to get all the Kirby friends to cooperate, what you can do is you can use stone, and you can move this block all the way over, and eventually it'll cover up the lava geyser. As for why enemies can fly over it, I really don't know, but this is cool. And it's good to keep stone through the next few rooms, I'd say, because you will have a similar puzzle in a upcoming room. And, you know, stone is definitely better in this game than it is in some games, I'd say. Definitely better than in, like, Nightmare and Dreamland, the other Game Boy Advance Kirby title, because this one can actually roll down ledges. Though, I suppose, if, like, you don't want to roll with stone, it's not all bad. So, over here, oh, it's Shadow Kirby. So I just got a 1-up from him, that's pretty cool. So as you can see, we have another stone geyser over here. I'm going to call these stone geysers. Even though it's a lava geyser, it's not spewing stones. Also, chips are also very annoying as well. I find that this game has a lot of annoying enemies. And that's just one thing you got to deal with. We'll just kill it. So as you can see, this sort of leads to a different mirror. And it basically just allows you to sort of cut through this whole part of the level. Of course, if you don't understand how cannon mechanics work, then you're kind of in a tough spot, but it's not a huge deal. If we were to be on the other side, we'd actually have to fight Batifier again, and Lord knows how much we love Batifier. So this is going to spew us right to a quiet space. And I'm going to get... I think I'm going to get an umbrella, actually. No, I want throw. Throw Kirby is cool because if you suck in things, you can actually throw what you throw in. So we're going to call the Kirbys here, and we have Kracko now. And Krakow is the boss of Mustard Mountain. Now, actually, throw is probably not that great for this boss because you kind of can't do crap about it. Sword is probably really good to have, I'd say. So Krakow's Krakow. I mean, he's very much... Stone is actually the best ability to have for this game, or this boss. I'm gonna see if I can't get it. No, I want stone. Okay, green. Green and his stone. That's okay. That's okay. We have burning, and burning also works pretty well to get a bunch of repeated hits off of on Krakow. And Krakow drops those burnings too, so tornado is also really good for this fight. I didn't think about that, but like that, we have our third mirror shard, which is really cool. Normally, Mustard Mountain in my main mode is one of the last levels I actually go through, but looking at it now, it's pretty easy to be able to get all the way through with no hassle whatsoever. So as you can see, Mustard Mountain's done. We still have some places we can explore there, but the next place we have to go is actually, we have not been there yet, which does make things a little tricky since we're going to have to do some exploring, but that's okay. What we can do is notice all the Area 5 stuff over here. That is mainly where we're headed. So we're going to do that next, and it's going to be just great. So we're going to go down through here, and we're going to take this path that we have been through before, and notice that the 1-ups have reset. I really do not need 1-ups. I'm not in dire need of them. I have 15, and even before Vitality upgrades, I still have plenty of health. I'm not concerned with my ability to get through these next few rooms. Of course, as I say this, I'm taking plenty of hits. So we're just going along here. It's pretty easy. I don't think there's anything in this room. Yeah, there's not. Cool. So we're just gonna go along and yep. So this is a room that we can technically go into. We can take this to Cabbage Cavern or Area 5, which is the next place we really want to go to. But this big hub area is the next sort of space that we can go to. But for the sake of things, I actually am going to go this way. There is not an item in this room, but there are more further along. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up here. They try to hide that from you, but I'm no fool. Can't fool me, Kirby. I'm way too good. So you can actually take the top route, and, you know, now you're on top. And you can get this treasure chest, which is very nice, because now you are invincible, and you can just run through here. And now we are on our way to Area 5, which is probably the best thing that we could hope for at this point. I want Cutter, and now I run. Everyone loves that sweet, sugary little... Like, if Kirby were a candy, he'd be a Peep. I don't think there's any... Are Peeps candy? No, are Marshmallows candy? I'm asking the real questions over here. But what we can do is we can just go up here. We're going to do some upward movement. It's pretty... Dealing with Gordos isn't fun, but whatever. I don't mind taking hits because there is just health right here. So, what we can do now is just get this wheelie, and, wouldn't you know, we have two places that we are in. We have this first button, which actually is a bit of a shortcut, because now what we can do is we can go through here, and we have yet another button. Really cool way of doing things, in my opinion. I really like it a lot. And what we can do now is we can actually go back into here, and we can cut through and go this way, because notice we are already in Carrot Castle, which is the 5th area of the game, but we are also in this cool icy place, and if we go through here, now we are in Area 7, Peppermint Palace. So now we've seen all the areas but one, which means that we must be getting near the end of the game, right? Right? Wrong. Because now we are in the button room for Peppermint Palace, the far part of Peppermint Palace too, which is really kind of funny that they're just so close to each other, because now we have the Peppermint Palace spot opened as well. So if we go back to the main hub area, notice now we have a ton of mirrors at our disposal, and we can get almost everywhere. The only place we can't get are up here, and those will definitely come in a bit. So what I'm going to do now, let's see, I'm not really sure what I want to do quite yet. We can take the Moonlight Mansion, or we can go to Mustard Mountain, I think. I think our best bet right now is actually to go back to Mustard Mountain before we go to Cabbage Cavern, or excuse me, not Cabbage Cavern, Carrot Castle. We're not actually going to go to Mustard Mountain, like, proper, the way to the boss. What we're actually going to do is we're going to go to that, hang on, we're going to go to the off section, which is this area over here. And we're going to try to get to this launch star to get to Area 9. Excuse me. I'm just talking a lot back over and over. It does a lot on you. I want wheel. I want wheel. I want wheel. I don't get wheel. Okay. That's not a problem. I'll just take tornado. So as you can see, tornado is pretty cool. One thing tornado can't do actually is break the star blocks. So that's kind of weird. And if you don't hold B, you don't fly, but if you do B, what you can do is you can get aerial on the tornado as well, giving yourself a little bit of control. Anyway, so we're just in Mustard Mountain right here. And if yep, we're in the correct area, no worries. So that's really nice. I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted sword for once, if you can believe that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get sword. And it's going to be good because what we do now is we take our sword ability. You can actually use bomb for this too, but what we're going to do is we're going to do up B, and we're basically going to run through, and if you notice, there's UFO. And we're going to grab UFO Kirby because UFO is probably one of the best copy abilities in the game. So as you can see now, we are back in Mustard Mountain. And I like... this area is a little different. It's, you know, you have two different ways of going about Mustard Mountain. And since there aren't any chests, and I'm not really missing out, I like going this way, since that way I can open up more rooms. No worries. So if we did go through that way, we would have to have fought a mini-boss, Fan, which does give us the throw copy ability, but we don't need to do that because we have UFO. We can actually break through these metal blocks. It's pretty cool. So, you know, we don't really need to be over here. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see, I wonder... I know the, okay, so it doesn't actually give you descriptions of the areas themselves, but in the manual for this game, it actually does describe the world that you go to, and Mustard Mountain is described as either a hot volcano or an ancient ruins. And I always found that a little strange, because, I mean, you also have Radish Ruins, which is a level in this game as well. But this is a pretty cool, like, fire area. It's not traditionally fiery, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah. Without UFO, this room is pretty tricky, I'd say. But with UFO, you can do a lot of stuff. And that's okay. Losing UFO is fine, because now I want Mini. Because Mini does some platforming here. So you basically need to get that, and then clear the block, and go through as Mini. And now... you're going towards a goal game. Wonderful. But that's okay. That's alright. The fact is that we're just, you know, the ability... I think there's a chest over here, so you have to go down over here either way. I'm not terribly concerned about that, plus I could use the recovery. And, oh, we get to fight Bombar. Or not. Yes, we do, actually. So you can actually get this one up in here. I'm not really going to... yes, there's a treasure chest over here. Yeah, so we can just do that and get the, I believe it's the cherry spray paint. It's not my favorite. It just basically makes your shoes green. Oh, yep, we are fighting Bombar. Cool. Alright, so I'm just going to call my friends and probably die. Oh, nope, never mind. Okay, thanks, guys. So, you can actually get the missile ability from those missiles he fires as well, which is kind of, you know, backwards. I'm not totally sure. That seems kind of silly. But, okay, well, I have missile now, so... Bombar is just a weird mini-boss, and I'm not really sure why. So we're just going to kill him off here, and get missile. We're going to cast magic missile in the process, get our 1-up and our Maxim Tomato, and hit our bonus game. Oh, shoot. I just missed a bunch of 1-ups. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. I will take it. You know, it's not ideal, but again, I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to where we were. Again, it's not ideal. Sorry for backtracking a bit, but that's sometimes what you have to do in this game. It's not ideal, and I want to missile, but... The goal here is we're trying to get that warp star to the 9th area in the game. And once we have all the mirrors... well, actually, I just realized that we wouldn't even be able to accomplish that because of the fact that we still need the Deep Radish Ruins one. But even then, that's not a huge concern for me. I'm not terribly worried about getting all the things. The main thing is that we can get it done. So that's how you would use Bomb to get through that room. It's pretty neat. So now I'm just going to go through. We're sort of going to go back through here again. And it's great. So, now that we have made it through this room a second time, we're going to do some cool maneuvering. And we're going to see if I can make it through this room again without getting hit. And, you know, it's a fun little challenge I have. This room is very enemy heavy, so what I try to do is I'll grab UFO, and then it's just a matter of moving right. It can get me Haley. Those things are called Haley, reference to Haley's Comet. Pretty cool. Yeah, so we're going to try that a third time. And I'm actually going to get Wheel here. I want Wheel, damn it. And we are going to go back through to Mustard Mountain. Can't believe I made that mistake. That's a rookie mistake. Wow. Yeah, you do need Mini to get through that room. Yeah, and notice how much easier it is to just maneuver with Wheel, like, quickly. Ah, so nice. It's so good. I love Wheel. Wheel is great. But unfortunately, we do need Bomb, so we're just going to drop a bomb here. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Nope, not that. We're going to drop a bomb. Nope, we're not going to... We're going to drop it right... Nope, a little more. There we go. Oh, damn it. Okay, here we go. 4th time's the charm, right? 5th time's the charm. Nope. 6th time's the charm. There we go. Alright, and now we're going to get UFO a 3rd time. And this time we're just going to go back to our favorite room, get hit by our favorite crash friend, and go for it. It's pretty great. We're also not going to fight Fan again. We're going to do some cool maneuvering, and we're going to go through. We're going to go through this room and take a hit this time, because I've jinxed myself. Anyway, but you see how it's just, yeah, I don't care. I really don't care at this point. I'm just gonna go Leroy Jenkins this boy. Though if I die, that's gonna suck. 'Cause I don't like dealing with this room without UFO because it just becomes a hassle. So we're gonna deal with Mini here. We're gonna die and do it again. Thanks, game. Nah, it's okay. I love this game. So if one thing I am doing to move just a little quicker is I am like releasing my air. This gives me a little bit faster horizontal movement without wheel, which is good for now, I'd say. Obviously it's situational, but yeah, so we're gonna do that. And these mini challenges can be pretty difficult the first time you do them, because you actually need to maintain mini throughout, and if you lose mini, then you have to go to the goal game. So, now that we've done this, we are actually going to have to fight Box Boxer. I forgot about that. Yep, there he is. There's our boy. There's our guy. Alright, that's okay, that's okay. So, I'll just, as you can see, the Kirbys are not very helpful since they lost UFO, which is unideal. I don't even care about fighting that much. I'm just going to go right here, and I'm going to hop on this Warp Star. And I didn't miss anything in this room, good. And all three of us are going to go. Sorry, Green, you're not good enough for World 9, Candy Constellation. This is the coolest area in the game, because you are in space. Honestly, this is probably my favorite level in the whole game. The music's great, the aesthetic's really cool. Just everything about this level is really, really fun. Space is great, man. Space is great. I am a big fan of space. So we're just gonna go along here. We're gonna go back to where we were dropped off, because Candy Constellation is actually self-contained, and the only way that you can actually get to this level is by Warp Star. So, if I can not suck at this level right now, that'd be great. So yeah, there are no actual mirrors leading from any other place to Candy Constellation. You have to get to a Warp Star in order to use it, which is pretty neat, in my opinion. And if you notice, we now have the sound player. So now all those music sheets that we got from treasure chests, we can actually use now. So one thing, if you were to break these blocks, you wouldn't actually be able to get to the mirror for Candy Constellation, but if you're cool and cheeky, the game is kind of mean in this way, where they hide the actual Candy Constellation button from you. And so now that we've done that, we technically have a way to get to every area except Deep Radish Ruins and Deep Olive Ocean, which is okay. We're going to do a little stuff around Candy Constellation before I go back and do Carrot Castle, though. And that's mainly just because I really like this level and I want to spend time in it. So we're just going to do this, and it's going to be good. It's going to be nice, fun, wholesome entertainment. And this is sleep. I'm not going to get sleep, because sleep is a waste of a time, and we got the Smash ability. Now, Smash is probably the coolest ability in the whole game, because you get Kirby's Smash Bros. Melee roster in your entire arsenal here, which is really freaking cool, in my opinion. I don't play Smash that much. I prefer Pokemon competitive, but I guess that's what I talk about here. Anyway, so you get Kirby's entire Smash arsenal. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see it because I suck. I believe you want Bomb for this. You don't want to break this bomb block. Yeah, you want Bomb. You want to lay a bomb, because it hits that, and then you can go through this door and get this treasure chest. This stumped me for so long, and you get the carbon spray paint, one of the coolest spray paints in the entire game, which is really nice. So you have to do that, and this is another spot where you could technically be launched off or left by a few warp stars. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these 2 stones, and that will give me Burning Kirby, which is what I need for a few different treasure chests in this room. If I can not suck, that would be great. So as you can see, there's this treasure chest here. Ideally, you would actually probably want to use wheel for this. Yeah, I'm going to just reset this timer, because once you hit a switch, it's on a timer, and basically what you're trying to do... Fuck off. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's try this again. So you're going to try to get to the other end of the room as fast as possible. There we go. I made it. Cool. And we get into here, and we have our treasure chests, which is a Maxim Tomato. Not as appealing as the sound player or carbon spray paint, but I'll take it. So that's pretty cool. Otherwise, I don't think there's too much else in this room. Yeah, there's not much else in this room. And we are now in this water room, because there's water in space, if you didn't know that. Believe me, I know it's a pretty cool fact. You can also get dropped off right here by a warp star, which is really neat. And we're just going to keep on trucking, and things are good. Yep, so that was a pretty painless room. So now we have the actual water and space traveling. One thing that's actually kind of cool is if you come into water with air in yourself, you actually float to the top, which is a pretty nice detail, I must admit. Yep, okay, no treasure chests in here. That's perfectly fine by me. And I'm just going to go up here, and it's going to be just fine. So, as you can see, we are in a familiar spot. This is the room that we started in. So now that we've done all that, we've kind of gone in a big circle, which should show you that Candy Constellation is, again, self-contained, and that you can't get to any other places from it unless you come by Warp Star. So that's alright, we're just going to travel down, and we're going to go back through here. And that sort of wraps up all the things I want to do in Candy Constellation for now, aside from showing off what Sleep does. It's a fun little ability. It's not really that fun, but anyway. So now that we've done all that, what I want to do is I want to go to Carrot Castle. And Carrot Castle is probably a bit harder than Moonlight Mansion. It's a more interesting Moonlight Mansion, in my opinion. I want to get Wheel just because Wheel is always the best ability to have, ever, always, and no one disputes that. And we're just going to go right in. We're actually going to go into the far Carrot Castle one too, because that takes us right to Carrot Castle proper. One thing before I do that though is I'm going to open another two-way switch, because, if you'll notice, if we go down, we are now in Radish Ruins. But we can't do anything about that, so we're going to go back up to Carrot Castle. So we're going to enter these big cool doors, and we're going to just go through this giant maze. So Carrot Castle is, again, Moonlight Mansion a bit on steroids. There are a lot of different ways to go through this level, and there's no clean-cut way on how you should do it. So I'm just going to go probably this way for now. There's actually probably a faster way to get to the boss of the level, but this way covers a lot of things as well. So I'm going to take it this way, and this is sort of the first way. This leads to the top of the castle, kind of, and it's really good to have Wheel here. I should really stop saying that, because I always seem to lose it whenever I say it, so yeah, case in point. So I'm just going to wheel here, and I'm going to wheel all the way. Wheel here, and normally you would die if you fall down here, but there's actually a chest hidden down here which leads to a sound, so that's really cool. So you can just go through here, and now you have a bit of a choice, and I'm always thrown off by which one I want to take, but I believe I want this far one. And if I'm wrong, that's okay, because, you know, they all sort of lead to the same place, and there aren't any treasure chests in here either, but it's, there are some that are better ways than others. So, yeah, having Wheel is really nice, so we're gonna just take this, and oh look, I'm in a room that Wheel is needed for. Wonderful. I'm not that pro that I can, like, make the quick changes off the bat, but whatever. Yeah, so we're just gonna go through here, and it's pretty cool. Roly-polies are the most annoying enemies in the game, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Actually, baddies are. So, I mean, worst case scenario. There we go. I actually made that turn, and then I stopped myself. Way to go, me. So we're just going to go through this room. There's not much to really see here, aside from a fun wheel area. And I'm going to get Missile, because Missile is very helpful for this area, too. As you can tell. There are fake block enemies in this game, too, called blockies, which are block-ins, and they're just annoying. They take up time, and they're not really helpful in any way. So right here, we're in this room, and if you look kind of closely, I know we don't have the map for Carrot Castle yet, but you'll see a bit of a star, and that actually means that we could get to Candy Constellation from here as well. So maybe I should have held off, but there are easier ways to go to Candy Constellation. Unfortunately, we are not going to go that way, yeah, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go back into Carrot Castle because I want to beat the boss of this area, and I've already gone to Candy Constellation. So, I've got the map of Carrot Castle now, which is really nice, I will say. So as you can see, Carrot Castle has a lot of one-way mirrors, which... it's a pun, because there's two-way mirrors and one-way mirrors. Anyway, so as you can see, it's very, very interesting how this area is laid out. It's small, but it's very mazy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down, and we're going to get this Maxim Tomato, and I want Cutter, because we're actually right about at the boss, as you can see. So we're going to go down, and quiet music, or no music rather, means that we have the boss coming up. And this is probably the hardest boss in the game, so I'm actually going to call my Kirby pals. This is Mega Titan. He does not take damage, and he has things. What you need to do is you need to hit him into the walls. And actually bomb is probably the right call for this boss. Okay. That's okay. Yeah, the main thing is you want to, like, try to combo him when he's down, so you can just hit him into the walls and everything. He's not that bad if you can get the combo going, but if you can't, then you might as well, yeah. It's hard if you lose a copy ability, let's put it that way. And Mega Titan is the only boss in this game to have a second form, albeit it's Titan Head, so... and it takes 2 hits to kill. So, again, not a terribly hard boss, although I will say that is probably one of the harder bosses in the game. Harder only to maybe one other boss that we haven't seen yet. Excuse me. Alright, so now that we've accomplished everything in Carrot Castle, now what we can do is we can go back to Olive Ocean. So we're going to do that now. As you can see, I actually want Wheel again. Wheel's by far the best ability in the game, and I just want to have it. I like Wheel. Wheel is good. So we're going to go over here, we're going to get the health, and we're just going to take that, and we're going to zoom through Olive Ocean on our Wheel. And it's pretty great. So now we are back in the water level of the game, and eventually this level does get more underwater, but we start off in the nice tropical area. I can dig it. I like beaches. It's summertime. Can dig. So one thing you want to do here is you want to actually go in here because there's a treasure chest. It just has health, but as you can tell, this is the underwater part of the game, and I don't want to lose Wheel here. So we're just going to keep on going, and we're going to ease on down further along the path. So it's pretty cool, I will say. It is kind of a vanilla area. The other thing too is that we can go above here, which does actually lead to the correct way. If we were to go down, we would be in a tricky spot, but that's alright, because now we are in Olive Ocean proper, which will eventually lead to Olive Ocean, the deep Olive Ocean mirror, and eventually the boss. I will say Olive Ocean is actually probably the area that I'm least familiar with, and I only say that because, as a kid, getting to Olive Ocean was always the hardest part, because I didn't even realize that Olive Ocean was a level for a while. My cousins and I, we would always, or my cousin and I, we would, he had this game, and he eventually let me have it, but he, the two areas that we always had trouble getting were the Mustard Mountain Mirror, and Olive Ocean, because, like, I was like, whoa, that's even a place? And, well, now it's, like, the second place I go to. But, you know, when I was first playing it, it was different. And I guess what I'm trying to say is here that there's a middle part of Olive Ocean that I'm really not that familiar with. And you'll see that when I get... There's one spot that I'm maybe not the greatest at. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna try this cannon again because we have bomb and we can. It just comes down to, like, when I have there are certain spots that I can go one way or another. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Whatever. So now we're back up here, and we're gonna go through this mirror, and I'm going to get a warp game. Yay. Okay, well that's not the end of the world. There is a treasure chest in here we can get, which is nice. So again, as you can see, what we want to do here, though, is kind of clever. There's this enemy, it's called a Droppy, and it steals our copy ability. What we want to have it do is have Droppy steal it while we suck this heave-ho block out of the way, and not suck it all the way so that we don't have to worry about falling. And then what we can do is we can just jump over it and get whatever's in here, which is the ocean spray paint, which is my favorite spray paint in the game. So, that's pretty neat. And we're going to grab Crash here, because there are 4 Scarfies, and I don't want to deal with them. So we're just going to use that and get through, and look! It's a wheel. I love wheel. Wheel's so great. Wheel is so fun. You know, you're just zooming through the entire game on fast speeds and everything. It's great. And we've got a warp star back to the thing, but at least we know, 1, we have wheel, 2, it's very easy to get back to where we were. So I'm not concerned at all for us. Plus, we have 15 lives, so like 16, 17 lives. We're not in any danger whatsoever right now, which is probably as much as we could hope for. Yeah, okay. So, we're just going to zoom back into Olive Ocean. So that's, by the way, in case you were unsure of how to get through or where things led, that's where the other direction led. So now that we have this, we're just going to go through here, ride the waves for a bit, and it's good. So, you know, I will say that I'm very... I think that from here on out, the game, once you're through Olive Ocean, the game gets... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oops. That was a mistake. Because now we're just back to where we were. Good job, me. Alright, so we're going to call our trusty Warp Star and get ourselves back to the hub, so I can do this a 3rd time. And maybe I can not fail, that would be good. I will say this first room with wheel is kind of iffy, but like every other room afterwards, pretty easy with wheel, so yeah. Lost my train of thoughts, that's okay. Yeah, once we get through Olive Ocean, the game gets pretty straightforward, especially with directions, because the remaining levels in the game, Peppermint Palace, it's very straightforward to the boss. Excuse me, I'm just adjusting myself, because getting to the boss in Peppermint Palace, if you have the far Peppermint Palace, is super easy, and Radish Ruins is actually, despite the name that it's a ancient ruins, it's actually very linear, which is pretty cool. And then Candy Constellation, now that we have the mirror unlocked for it, there's really one other spot that might be a little tricky to get through, but otherwise it's pretty easy too. So really, once Olive Ocean is over, it's all downhill from here, and I mean that in the best sense. But yeah, we get to fight Boxy again. Fun. Actually, I want the meat or whatever it is. I'm not sure if that's like a candy or if that's a meat or what it is, but we're just gonna we're gonna carpet bomb this boy until he's glowing. And it's good, because, you know, he actually is glowing. So we're gonna get this copy ability, and we're gonna use our magic. Just because. Now, it is a bit of a waste to use magic, especially if we got Meta Knight, because Meta Knight clears the screen of enemies, but there are no enemies, so that was a bit of a waste. Oh well. So now we have this room, which is pretty cool. If you get Umbrella, it's actually... If you get Umbrella, it's actually pretty fun, because what you can do is you can start floating, and then you can go here and just go, woo! You have some really fast forward momentum, horizontal movement too. But, unfortunately, I lost it, so what can you do? What we're going to do here is I'm going to get this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hit so I can just phase right through here, get sword, and go through this mirror here. And we're almost at the far Olive Ocean thing, but we have this trap that is really stupid. So we're just going to go over here, and what I'm going to do, I believe what I can do, I don't know if I can actually pull it off. I think I have to be on the ground. Yeah, I have to be on the ground to do it. But I know there are some people who, what they do is they just shortcut through there and then make it work. But unfortunately, when you lose your power underwater, you can't get it back, so... Oh, wait. I remember what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to use Beam, because you can actually not be dumb. You can actually reach it if you use Beam. So we're going to use Beam to get over to there. Or can you reach it? Beam? I don't think you can. No, you can't. Okay. Guess I was wrong. Not a problem. We're just going to flood that top spot so that we don't have to worry about it. And we're just going to go right up to here. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And this is technically not a mini-boss. I like to think that they had him as a mini-boss at one point, but that guy just gives you laser. Not a particularly terrible thing to deal with. But I'm not going to fight it, because it's not worth it. So we're just going to go into here, and despite the fact that I have low health, that's okay, because we are now in the far part of Olive Ocean, which means we only have one more mirror to get, and that is the far part of Radish Ruins. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get this treasure chest over here, because what that allows me to do is, I think this is just health, which is nice. Yep, just health. It's just a cherry. And I'm going to be lazy, and I'm just going to go back this way, instead of having to deal with all the spikes. Yeah, and I'm going to grab a sword too. I know they give me sword actually in the next room over. In here, yeah, you get sword right here, but dealing with enemies. Who has time for that? Not me. I want sword. Alright. Yeah, so this part of Olive Ocean is probably the... Okay, you know what? Yeah, I think Olive Ocean is, again, probably the hardest part for me, just because I don't remember what I'm doing. And we're just gonna blast that mirror out of the way so that we can get through this way, which is probably the fastest way through Olive Ocean, is taking this weird Cabbage Cavern-esque area, not dealing with baddies, because baddies are the worst, not dealing with chips, because chips are the worst. Yeah, these guys are by far the worst. This is, it's not the greatest room in the game. Yeah, I don't, just want to get through this room. Just through this room. Because there is a Maxim tomato, and I'm going to need it. Bye. Bye! Okay, so now that we've done all that, I don't believe there's a treasure chest in here now. Okay, cool, I haven't missed anything yet. So what we can do, yeah, this actually leads to the map of Olive Ocean, if I'm remembering right. I might be remembering wrong, but then again, who cares? No, it's Vitality upgrades. So now we have one more hit point, which is really helpful. So we're going to do that. Yep, okay, cool. So we don't really need to go anywhere else. So we're just going to cut right through here. We're going to get this cutter, because if they give it to us right at the start of the room, you bet that it's going to be important. So I don't really care too much there. I think I want to cut this rope, though. And we just keep on going. Yeah, so you don't want to cut all the things, because you could lose the one-up. But, yeah. Oh, shoot, I don't know what's down there. Oh, I think that's just a... Yep, that's just death. So you can actually just lure that guy right down there, and he will die. How convenient. Let's see, did I get everything in here? Yes, I did, cool. Alright, so now we are back in Olive Ocean. We're going to play some Donkey Kong Country with our fun cannons. And everything is swell. So we have Giant Rocky. I think what I can do is I can go through here, because I know for a fact that this leads to a bonus. But I don't really want to deal with that. I don't really want to have to go all the way back here, because we're already, like, really close to the boss. So I'm going to take the second one, because I think that's... Okay, that's not the best one, but could be worse. So, I want to hang on to stone. No, I don't want to hang on to stone, I want UFO. Sorry, stone, think again. UFO is pretty fun, because UFO does work in water. You are slower, though, which means that the fish do actually matter still. But it's not horrible. Still, UFO, you never not want to not have UFO. Man. Good language, Peter. Alright. Good language here. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to get that maximum tomato. We have 21 ups. I don't even care. Yep, so over here leads right to... How 3 of us have UFO. That's pretty cool. So, we're right near the next boss. Ideally, I would have kept stone, but I don't really care that much because this boss is pretty easy, all things considered. Especially if you have UFO, you can just sort of charge shots for a while. And you can just finish him off with blowing water at him. So, that's the boss of Olive Ocean, Gobbler. Gobbler is probably the easiest boss in the game after King Golem. And now that we've got that, we've beaten Area 6, which is Olive Ocean, which means we are now going to go to Peppermint Palace. So that's pretty cool. What we do, like all levels, what we do is we go back, get our wheel, and we're just going to speed on through, get some health in the process. Really thankful for the convenient wheel. No, I don't want to go here yet. What we're going to do now is we're going to go right into this mirror, and instead of going through anything over here, we're not going to deal with any of this BS. What we're going to do is we're just going to go right through here. Right over on here, and notice why I got wheel for this part. Wheel's really fun for that first part, a little harder for this next part. But, I mean, it's an ice level, what are you expecting? I mean, ice levels are pretty cool. That was not an intentional pun, but I've made it, and I'm not going to go back on it now. So we're just going to go along here. Wheel is, again, really helpful here. So as you can see, provided you make the correct time jumps, and whatnot. Everything, again, there's a treasure chest behind there, but I'm not really going to deal with that quite yet. I don't feel it's really necessary to do so. And what I can do is I'm going to also skip that way because the boss is just right over this way and it's super easy to get to, and that's why I'm here, right? To beat the game as fast as possible, right? Right? No. I forget if there is... Yep, there's a treasure chest here. I don't remember where it is, though. I want to say it's down here. No, wheel, come back. Come back. Come back. Honestly, I think the chest is, like, down here, maybe. Quite frankly, yeah, it's up this way. And you need stone to use it. I'm gonna get the maximum tomato, just because it's probably a good thing to get. I want wheel. Wheel is fun. I'm not gonna bother with a chest in here for now. I will be back here later eventually. Yeah, later eventually. Good. Grangridge. Who needs wheel? Because stone would have been better to have here. Oh, well, I know for a fact that this room does not have a treasure chest, which makes it a little easier. I'm going to get sword for here, because the boss is actually just behind this bomb block, if you can believe that. Here's the boss! Oh, it's ready! Here we go. Yeah. So the boss is right here. I'm going to call my Kirby pals, because this boss is actually a little tricky. It's not the hardest boss, it's basically this game's version of Paint Roller from, if you're familiar with Paint Roller at all. So we're gonna roll with that, and you just sort of have to wail on him when he's open. And, you know, it's whiz. I mean, there's a reason I like sword here, because you can sort of just, like, beat anything it sends out. And up being here is probably the easiest bet. So it has a fraction left, and that's the boss of Peppermint Palace. So if you take the time that it took to beat Olive Ocean, and then to the boss of Peppermint Palace, it's ridiculous how fast you can beat this game. Really from here, Radish Ruins doesn't take a ton of time to get to either, and you know, from there it'll be pretty straightforward. I'm probably not going to do 100% for this run right here. I'm just going to go for it. I know I wasted some time saying that I was going to do 100%, but like at this point I'm probably going to just beat the final boss and then eventually do things, and it'll be good. You know, I'm using Smooby speak, you know, do things and it's good. So now we're just going to go right into Radish Ruins, and I'm really thankful noticing that, like, I got all the mirrors to begin with, and I take a little bit of, I go move a little bit to the right first, because if I actually don't, then I run into the blocks and I lose my wheel. So, again, very thankful that I got all the mirrors before having to go through them. So yeah, we are now in the spooky, mystery, mazy part of the game. It's not spooky, but you know what I mean. I do want Beam here because you can get a... Or, is there a treasure chest? No, there's just a 1-up. That's okay. So we're just going to do that instead then. I don't really need a 1-up. I've got 20 more. You will eventually come back to this room. And you'll sort of go through things, but I'm just going to wheel because I'm too cool for this. And you can actually go up here, and I think there's a treasure chest in this room. Yep, cool. So we're going to get this health, not really needed, but whatever. Of course, now we get stuck in between two Waddle Doos, but that's not horrible. But I don't want to lose wheel quite yet, because this is the room... Okay, so I can afford to lose wheel here. What I'm going to do, there's a mirror over there, and I'm going to shoot it, and voila, we have officially gotten all the hub mirrors in the game, and as such, we get a new mirror, which I will now quickly show off so that I can keep going through. Nope, not... Here we go. And what this area is it's basically a copy ability room. So every copy ability in the game is in this room, so you can use it if you so desire. So I just got to see all the ones I haven't used yet. I've used pretty much all of them. I mean, I've used Fighting, Hammer, yeah. I haven't used Smash that much, and I haven't used Cutter. Yeah, I've used every copy ability. Cool. Alright. So, now that with my new wheel, I'm just going to go back into Radish Ruins, and I'm going to go into Deep Radish Ruins, and we're just going to keep on going. So right here I wanted wheel because, I mean, like, they want you to use Parasol here, but come on. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go over here, but instead of going through that brick thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hit, I'm going to say screw it, and I'm going to lift up this one way, and wouldn't you know, if we go quickly through here, we are back in Carrot Castle. So, I'm not going to deal too much with Carrot Castle, because that's how I feel about Carrot Castle. And we're actually just, we're not going to get Parasol, we're going to go through here, and we're going to get our wheel again, because wheel is very fun, and the fastest motion in the game, and I'm strange like that. So, we're just going to go down, make the same movements we did before, and again, Parasol, lol, please. So, we're just going to go through here. It's going to be great. One thing that you want to do here is actually want to drop down, because there's a treasure chest down here. It doesn't give you anything but a 1-up, and I don't really need too many of those, but, you know, it can't hurt. But once you have gone this way, you're kind of committed to going here, so you better not mess up. Now, go downwards. You want to go down, because that's the way to the boss. You want to go deeper into the ruins. That's the logic. So, we're just coming along here. This is sort of a narrow platforming area. Wheel isn't obviously the greatest for this room, but it does work nonetheless. I will say that I do want burning for this next boss coming up, because there is a mini-boss coming up very shortly, and I think most of you, if you've never played this game, you might find it kind of cool. And that mini-boss is Master Hand. So yeah, we are actually fighting Master Hand in this game. So his hitboxes are always so flunky. And Master Hand, basically, if you couldn't guess what copy ability you get from beating Master Hand, you get Smash Kirby. So this is where you're supposed to, like, one of the first times you'll get Smash, if you're not exploring too much, or if you know where you're going. So you can sort of use a lot of stuff. You can use you can go up and down. It's really neat. I personally like it a lot. Let's see. So yeah, press B with the control pad for different smashing attacks. So unfortunately, I can't use the C stick because I'm a noob and I can't press A left, A right. That was not the button I wanted to press. But it's cool because you can just OHKO those guys with a single slash of the hammer. Slash the hammer. What am I, a nerd? No. Cut the hammer into pieces. Anyway, so we're just gonna keep on climbing up this way. You can actually juggle enemies with your hammer. It's pretty fun. I can't really do it too well, but you know, it's a little game. Sometimes you see like how many times can you juggle an enemy with a hammer? And that works for regular hammer ability too. Ah, dang it. I missed. Alright, well that's okay. So what you want to do here is you don't have to fight these two guys. You can just open this here. And now what you do is you just go upward, and it's always a bit of a challenge for me to like try to go up this shaft without taking any damage. It gets a little tricky here, or not here, the next part, when you have to deal with these Bronto birds flying around. But, hey, did it. And now we are in the windy part of the level. Spooky. So, we're just going to keep on going, and it's going to be great. Because we are getting very close to the boss of Radish Ruins. I did say that this game is, you know, again, I will always say that after Olive Ocean, this game gets very short, if you know what you're doing. Oh, bye Smash. Okay, that's okay. I didn't really need Smash much anyway. And one thing you should do before you drop down here is there's actually a chest up here, which gives you just some health. It's pretty good. So now what you do is you go down here, you suck in this heave-ho block, be gone, ho, and you get another music. So that's really cool. And it's our guy, Shadow Kirby. Alright, or Mirror Kirby, or however you want to call him. So now, we got another boss here. And I'm going to get Sword for this because... Wait for it. Wait for it. Meta Knight? I thought we locked you in the mirror. One thing that should be known is if you've played a Kirby game before, you'll know that Meta Knight has a way of playing, actually, a way of attacking you, and he tends to sort of just come right at you. And this Meta Knight is different because he will try to deflect your shots and move away from you. And as you can see, he turns gray when we defeat him, which suggests that maybe he's not actually who we think he is. But that doesn't matter, we only have one more mirror shard left to get, and then we are on our way to fighting the final boss of the game, which, you know, is pretty cool, given that this game is how it is. So, I'm going to once again go do my usual thing, where I'm going to get health with my wheel. It resets after you beat a boss, so that's why I didn't want to get it with the Radish Ruins stuff. Anyway, so we're just gonna go up here. And now we are finally going to go through Candy Constellation, and this is a challenge, trying to get through here with wheel. Okay. No, come back. Wheel. Yeah. Nope, bye wheel. Okay, that's okay. Having wheel is not ideal for this level, just because there are so many spaces. And I would go after that treasure chest, but I can come back later, so I'm not going to deal with that too much. Instead, I'm just going to go down this way and go the way I'm supposed to go, because that wheel is to taunt me, and I don't want it. So this is the last room in the game, in my opinion, that really can, like, trick you on where you're supposed to go. You want to be trending upwards when you have a split. So what you can do is there are two ways of going. There's this way, which has this maximum tomato, and then you can continue downward, but what you're supposed to do is instead go upwards this way. And this room is also probably the most annoying room in the game, just because of how enemies are laid out and whatnot. Given that these burners are going all around, and there's a Gordo and Waddle Doos are hitting and whatnot. You know, with the hippin' and the hoppin' and the pippin' and the boppin', and they don't know what the jazz is all about. You see, so jazz is like gel pudding. Nope, actually jazz is more like Kodak films. Actually, jazz is like a new Coke. It'll go on forever. Okay, so ice. I've actually never gone through this area with ice before, so I'm gonna try it out. And that should knock out that guy. Cool. And now, all we have to do is keep on going. If you went down lower, you would actually end up in that lower segment, which would just lead to a bonus game, which is annoying. So this is probably the hardest room to keep a copy ability in, to be honest. And it has slowdown, too. This is the one room in the game that actually has slowdown in it, if you can believe that. So we're going to hop on this launch star, warp star, whatever, take out that Waddle Doo in the process, and, wouldn't you know, we've got ourselves yet another fight with Master Hand. He's clearly jealous that we beat him in Radish Ruins, that he wants a rematch. Come at me, boyo. Oh, damn it, I missed. Nope, no, not today. Not get me today, homie. So, you know, it's just one of those things where you're fighting this dude and he's sort of being rude, and he's being very rude. Do you want me to call the other Kirbys? Fine, I will call the other Kirbys on you, because I'm going to tell my mom. And, yeah. So if you guys could attack him, that would be great. His gunshots actually fire off burning, so that's pretty cool. So if you wanted to, you could get that. I want smash, so burning can eat trash, please. So we're gonna juggle this guy. No? Okay, we're not gonna juggle the guy, actually. We're gonna juggle this guy. No, we're not. So we can go down B and take out all those enemies. This is like a weird tutorial for Smash. I don't know why they do this to you when you can have Smash technically in Radish Ruins as well. But, hey, man, I mean, Smash is Smash, and I'm not complaining. So we're just going to keep going through here. They give you laser in here. I understand why, but I really want to use Smash, so I'm going to keep Smash. Thanks, game, but no thanks. There actually is a secret in here. You do need laser for it, though, so it's kind of dumb. Maybe I can do it, actually. Oh, you do need laser. Ooh, I almost had it. I'm going to try it again without laser. Let's try it again. Oh, that's cheeky. Oh, that's... Alright, well, they designed it, so I'm gonna have to go back and get laser. Because I actually want that treasure chest because there's no reason to not get it at this point. Also, I think this is like one of the places that they teach you like lasers can bounce off walls, which seems kind of stupid because you've had laser for a while, so you should know that by now. It's weird. Candy Constellation, it's cool, it's intuitive, but I have to wonder like if it was necessary to do some of these puzzles the way that they are. Anyway, so you need laser because what you do is you ricochet off there, and then you can just fly over and get another sheet music. So cool. It's pretty easy. And now when the inevitable wheel room comes up, I won't feel as bad about getting rid of Smash. Speaking of, we have ourselves a wheel room, and I really like these. One thing I like to do actually is we can go like this, or you know what? Forget it. I think I'm thinking of another part in this room. Whatever. So we can just go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's kind of fun. Also, if you, I wanted to show that off. I'm gonna show it off. So you can just sort of zoom across the water like that, and then you want to make sure to not hit there because that falls apart underneath you, and that's not good. So UFO. Can't say no to UFO. Until you die, because then once you die, then, you know, you can't get UFO. Except when you do have it, so whatever. Fun fact, UFO can't climb ladders. So if there's a ladder, you can't go up it with UFO. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like these Haleys. And this is also, like, I think, like, your first instance of UFO in the game, which is, like... I don't know if the devs were, like, planning it so that you would... This is the first place you get UFO in, but... Hey, you know what? I'll take it, I guess. And, haha! And who needs missile, man? I mean, missile's for the scrubs. I don't need no missile. I got me some UFO goodness. Alright. So now's the room that they always do, where they always have, like, enemies that fall down from the sides, and it's... terrible and horrible, and there's one in every Kirby game, and it's in this game it's particularly awful because it's like you have enemies that actually roll around on slanted surfaces. No, I want UFO. Get back here. Yeah. So this room is again another one that I'm not particularly fond of. Hey, it's Shadow Kirby. Thanks for the one up, pal. Appreciate it. And wouldn't you know, we are at the boss of Candy Constellation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to charge this bad boy up, and it's Master Hand and Crazy Hand. So you have the two of them. I'm a fool. There's actually a quick kill for these guys too. What you can do is if you get your shots lined up in such a way, you can actually kill them both in one shot. So that's pretty neat. If I can actually get a shot off, that would be really great, but... You know, at this point, I'm not holding my breath. So I just killed Crazy Hand, and now just killed Master Hand. So with that, we have officially beaten the last boss in the game before the final boss. So that's really neat. So now, if we want, we can go fight the final boss. Oh yeah. And we lose UFO, which is a sad time. But what I want to get is I'm going to go get Smash from here because we about... Or actually, no, I don't want Smash. I want Hammer. Where is Hammer? Over here. It's up here. I want to get Hammer because we are now going to go fight the final boss. There's plenty of stuff that we could still do in this game, but I'm going to go fight the final boss. And I don't really care. Oh, and Red's here. Cool. Two Meta Knights. What? So as you can tell, this is a fake Meta Knight. This is the bad one. We trapped Meta Knight inside the mirror. So we're just gonna sort of hit him with our hammer. We're gonna do a hit like that. The up B is probably the best attack in the game because I just killed him in 2 hits. Yeah. Alright, so technically you have to get this master ability to fight the final boss, or to trigger it, which is Dark Mind, but I really just want to fight this guy with Humor. But I'm not going to because Master is probably better for this fight. And I'm probably going to lose a life or like 3, and I really don't care. And Dark Mind has like 5 forms or something. And we just beat the final boss, guys. Yeah, we did it. Oh, no, here's just a mirror. So, now we're in the Radish Ruins area. And, I gotta remember which button goes to which. Okay, so it's this one, and then this one. So, I'm gonna go as fast as I can. Red, hit the switch, hit the switch. Go down, go down. Go down, Red. Red, go down. Red, go down. Frickin' idiot. Ugh, whatever. I don't even need any of these things anyway. Red can go chomp on my nads. Actually, Red shouldn't do that, because that would hurt. So we're just gonna go here, hit him with some good stuff. And the main thing about this boss is you really can't hurt him unless his eye is visible. And when I mean his eye, I mean his cavity, where the circle thing is looking, you know? There we go, cool. So, uh-oh, he was just a mirror too. Dang it. Alright, so I think it's this first one we want to go down. Yep, cool. That's ideal. Of course, there's a glunk there, so that can go die. But that's alright, because we still do get a Master Sword. Get it! And now we get to fight him in water. So it's sort of like we're fighting him on all the mirror domains and whatnot. So this is the third phase. It's the same fight with a little bit more in it. But it's really not a hard fight. I wouldn't consider any of the Dark Mind fights to be all that difficult, except maybe the last one of these mirror mastermind fights. So now we're in the Peppermint Palace area, and if we wanted to, we could just go right here. Or we can go up and around and do some more platforming to get some one-ups and whatnot. And for the sake of just showing them off, I'm going to go do so. But really, it's not a... Get the one-up. Okay. It's not a hard area. I mean, you can, like, technically die, but... For a one-up and a Maxim Tomato, I mean, it's kind of easy. It's easy platforming. So, this is probably the hardest fight because there's ice physics you gotta deal with, and I don't like dealing with that. So, one thing you should do first is just hit him right out of the gate because, uh-oh, he just breaks. Did we beat him? No, of course not. And he'll drop these things that look like... Oh, that's the first damage I've taken from these entire fights. Good job. Yeah, his attacks in this last one are a bit tricky, especially because you don't get the standard sword fare. So he'll drop these things that, if you don't kill them fast enough, they actually do a significant amount of damage. Yeah. So this fight is mainly hard because of ice physics. It's not hard because of his attacks, which is a bit of a cop-out in my opinion. But as long as you sort of just deal with it, it's okay. I personally... I mean, occasionally I'll have some issues with this, but very rarely do I have, like, a huge problem. Yeah, so he's gonna do his teleporting attack, and maybe I will die in this fight. Hopefully not. That would be bad. Okay, I'm gonna call the Kirbys, because I'm a pansy. And they're gonna give me their Maxim Tomato, so I can just, you know... One, I can save the boss damage, the boss's HP, however much he has left, and two, I can... you know, if I do end up dying, it's not the end of the world. And I can have these incompetent, bumbling fools sort of Help me out. Yeah, this one definitely is the hardest though, because like it's like he has a level of defense or something, and oh, Master's gone. So these stars also give you abilities, so that's kind of cool if you need one. Ooh, actually I want this. Oh, okay, so those balls too also give you crash. So, like, if you need it, it's there. Okay, I gotta kill this guy. I have to kill this guy, otherwise I'm gonna look... God, come on, Red, don't use it then. I need to use this or it's gonna be very embarrassing. Very embarrassing indeed. Embarrassing. But that's okay, because green is still there, so... yeah. So I have Crash now, and I'm just gonna use it now. So we just blew up Dark Mind. Green's dead, so who cares? But with 25 lives, let's go and enter our final fight with Dark Mind, this giant eye, in this hellscape. I'll admit, I am not very good at this final boss. That's okay, though. Sorry, I just got scratched in my face. I'm gonna call my Kirby friends, because I am fully, like, not very good at this game. Or, you know, I can just die and start the whole fight over again. That'll be good. I will admit, this is probably like the one part of the game like I'm not very good at, is this boss fight, and that's completely on me. It also doesn't help that I only have 7 hits of health, so that too. But, you know, this does have some kick-ass music in it, so what can I say? Fooge, man, fooge. Like, the mirrors that just float along are, like, really annoying to deal with, in my opinion. Yeah. Apologies, I'm not talking much, but... though I may end up calling the Kirbys in just a sec. Oh, he's gonna turn the battlefield upside down, and ooh, I've never seen him drop off one of these, so that's kind of cool. Oh, that's not good. Okay, this is tricky. Call in all Kirbys. Alright. And he just turned it up again. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so when that happens, your controls are technically upside down too. So, this is disorienting. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not very good at this fight, but you know what? It doesn't matter because we just beat him. So now with that, we've got one more thing to do before this whole area fades into red. Well, I guess it already faded into red, but now he's gonna fly off and we're gonna go into the distance and join him, Mr. Dark Mind himself, and we're gonna hop on these stars. And now, since we have all 4 Kirbys, we actually have a better shot of doing well. And you'll hear me button mashing. That's the whole point of this last one. It's a shmup. And no, you can't hold the button. It's kind of dumb. Also, I'm totally gonna die here, too. I don't care. I have, like, 20 lives still. No shame. You can... I am the hero of the stars, so eat my butt. And there we go. We have just beaten the game. Aren't we proud of ourselves, everyone? Yeah, we super duper are. Yep, so now the credits roll and we can basically see how many times we hit Mr. Darkmind in the eye before the credits are done rolling. Excuse me. Yep, wasn't this a great game? I really like this game a lot. Bill Trinan is in the credits, didn't know that before, and that's kind of cool. I don't really pay attention to the credits at all. You can if you'd like, but, you know, it doesn't really bother me that much. I just sort of press B and move around and hope for the best. But yeah, I want to get at least 50, please. No, yeah, 50, nice. 65, alright, that's 95, cool. So after beating him, you get 30. Which, you know, pretty great. And so Darkmind was defeated, and his dream of conquering the mirror world was shattered. Now, at last, peace will return to the mirror world. But they will remain on guard. After all, who knows when another evil might arise? But don't worry, though. Mirror World Kirby will be there to keep them safe. Mirror World Kirby does not roll off the tongue at all. And like that, our journey comes to a close as we enter the mirror. All four of us. Though, we never really got put back together, game. What are we gonna do about that? Hello? Are we gonna get put back together? Hello? Oh? Guess not. And there's Meta Knight. So yeah, there's no DDD in this game. In case that wasn't clear. So if there was a reason why I was waiting to hold off on doing a lot of the treasure chest hunting, it's because we get this cool ability. We get Master to use whenever now. And with that, we have reached the end of the game. So, not much else to do. I don't think you can do much aside from soft reset. Right? Yeah. Wait. Maybe start something there. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, that's okay. Now, I guess what we'll do is I'll leave you guys with that. And maybe I'll come back to this and do the 100%. Who knows? Anyway, catch you guys later.